J Bills Media Spotlight UK, and I could say it's a reunited situation at this point, because we were just saying off camera that the place I used to work at, you came to the shop one time, and I remember you had longer hair then.
I did have long hair. I did, bro. But listen, you're professional out here, bro. Checking the microphones, bro. My man's ready. You're smashing it, bro. Smashing
Well,
it.
I'm trying. I've got to make sure I'm in the zone, you know?
Of course, bro. Of course, man. It's good to see you again, G. It's good to see you.
Well, it's been a long time. I mean, let's get straight into it. I mean, obviously, your first boxing fight, your debut, but you're no stranger to this, in a sense where your dad was a boxer, if I'm correct in saying. So, I mean, take me through that in terms of, being exposed to boxing through your dad, and then obviously you went into dancing.
My opponent cameraman's filming.
Oh, right.
That's a sick shot. That's a sick shot.
His opponent's cameraman, Will Anderson, is yeah.
He was good, bro. He was good. Sorry,
So I mean, take me through that in terms of even getting to this point now. Like, obviously you've done dancing, won Britain's Got Talent, but why boxing now?
Well, so my dad obviously was a professional fighter, and he didn't want me to box at all. So he pushed me into the much more dangerous sport of competitive street dance.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Which is not a bad thing.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. I think you hear that from a lot of fighters. They don't want their kids to fight, right? So that was his side of it. He didn't want us fighting. So I've always been a massive fan of the sport, but never trained, never competed, nothing like that. Then I started working for a boxer, a little bit for DAZN, hosting certain shows. I was at the press conferences, I'm interviewing fighters, and I'm standing there, like much like yourself, I'm interviewing them, and they would say something about camp, or they'd say something about, how it is, and I'm going, yeah, I understand. And I was like, to be fair, I don't actually understand. I've always been a huge fan of the sport. I train anyway, why not start trying to train boxing a little bit? That was about a year and a half ago. Started down that path, and one thing led to another. You get the bug for it, you have a couple of good spars, and then you're like, I want to fight. So to wrap it up, started training, caught the bug. Misfits is the home for people like me. Like, we're lucky enough to have a bit of a platform, and then Misfits go, okay, cool, we'll come here and show us what you got. And to put a full stop on that story, my dad is still not happy that I'm fighting, but it is what it is.
Oh, wow. So I'd reckon that he would still support you, but it's just like he would rather you not go into the fight game. But I mean, is there any sort of like words of encouragement or motivation, from your dad, knowing that he's had that experience as a boxer, that, is there any sort of tips and tricks, without giving too much away, that is giving you the knowledge to be prepared for this Friday?
The word he keeps saying over and over and over and over, focus. Not overthinking, not panicking, not getting in your own head, focus. And I noticed that so much. You can be in a spar and you get rattled, or you can do this and you can be tired, or you've had a long day and you turn up to the gym. And all those little things start creeping in, which really, of course, everything kind of has an effect. But it's up to you to... I saw an interview with Anthony Yard the other day.
Okay.
And Yard said, for him, boxing, in his opinion, even 90% mental. So much of it is mental. Because once you get the fitness side of it down, of course, there's going to be guys who have trained like him for so many years, their technique, the reactions, all that stuff comes second nature. For a lot of us here who are novices, you have to think about that stuff still. But your mind being focused and ready to do the job in front of you is going to be the biggest thing. And that's where I feel like I'm at. I'm composed, I'm good, I'm relaxed. What will be, and I feel ready for it, man.
Well, I mean, what do you reckon in terms of Will Anderson as a potential opponent? We've seen your digital face-off, and he had a black eye, which means that to me that he's been putting in the work. And so how has camp been for you, and what's the expectation as far as like what he is to bring to you in terms of the ring? Because you got the experience as far as via your dad, but we've not seen what Will can come with yet. Exactly. Coming from Love Island. So what are your thoughts there?
I think the Love Island stigma. It's everyone goes, oh, Love Island. Bro, the guy's he's young. He's in really good shape. I know he's done little bits of training before. He definitely puts the graft in now for the past year since he's been training boxing. We're heavyweights. We're big dudes. So as far as I'm concerned, he's a massive threat. Anything could happen. So you've got to keep an eye on that. I feel like he's gonna, and obviously he's got a lot to prove as well. For some reason, like you said, in our face-off, he's calling himself the underdog and this and that. I'm like, right, like when you've got that mentality and you've got a point to prove, and I know he wants to carry on steaming through Misfits and keep fighting, and this is his thing that he wants to do. You know that he's coming into this hungry. So you can't negate that. You just got to be ready for it, and that is what it is.
One person that you've openly said that you wanted as your first fight but didn't materialise is Demoor.
Yes.
I mean, talk to me about like how that process was. I mean, you must have had a call with Mams in terms of options. Like, talk to me about, you know, why that falling through. But obviously now you're facing Will Anderson.
Yeah, well, to be fair, me and Chase was never like officially set up. Me and him did like a little mini face-off. I met him in Dublin last year, and I wanted to fight because look, he's got the belt. Nobody can say, I think anybody watching this now, I think we all remember the viral clip of Chase Demoor against Josh Bruckner in his first fight, yeah? He's not composed, he doesn't look experienced, he doesn't look good. Everyone compares him to that. He's not that anymore. He's 50 times better than he was, way more experienced than a lot of the Misfits guys. He trains like a beast, he looks fitter, he is fitter, he's fighting a lot better, his technique's better.
He's been doing a lot of fights abroad, like even in Mexico as well.
Getting the
just putting in that work.
And you've got to credit where it's due, man. You've got to take your hat off to him. So, as far as I'm concerned, Chase would be a very, very difficult fight. But in my head, I was thinking, bro, if I can come in first fight and win the belt, how sick is that? And that's what I wanted. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. You know, I know he wanted to fight Roman Fury. Now he's saying Tommy Fury. You know, and, like, there's no denying it. In terms of the misfit scene and boxing, in terms of experience and profile and platform, he's leagues ahead of me. I haven't done anything yet. So it's up to me to put a show on Friday night in Derby, May 16th. And from there, that gives me the credentials to be able to say to him, cool, I want the fight. But until then, I completely understand it. It doesn't make sense for him, so that's fair.
Well, a few final things from me. I mean, obviously being on your radio show on KISS, you had Eddie Hearn on the show recently. Yeah. And he had a few choice words to say to you as far as your fight. I mean, you know, talk to me about that experience.
Well, I don't know if getting mugged off by one of the biggest boxing promoters in the world was on my list of motivational quotes to get me ready for the fight. But it was funny, man, having him on. Like, Eddie's a great guy. He's come on KISS so many times. He's always made time for the show. When he's got big fights, he always comes on to promote them. He's a wicked guy. And all jokes aside, I think Eddie's backing me. I think he's backing me to win. He might have mugged me off on air, but he's backing me to win.
Well, I mean, he'll probably be watching closely. And finally, obviously, your focus is Will Anderson right now. And obviously, Friday is going to come ahead. What would be the main goal afterwards? Is this a one and done, or are you looking to do more fights in the future? And is there any like sort of, you know, dream fights as far as the space of people you like to face?
Well, of course, I'd love to fight for a belt. Misfits in terms of where our platform is, not being like pro boxers. Misfits is the biggest platform, so to be able to be here and have the chance to fight for a belt would be incredible. Whether it's Chase, whether it's, I know they're saying the Survivor tag thing, whoever wins that will get a shot at the belt. That will probably be next for Chase. And then if Chase, I imagine Chase would do well in it, but if he didn't, but I imagine he'd do well, but if he didn't do well and someone else had the belt, that's who I want to fight. So for me, it'd be wicked to fight for a belt. But like you said, man, it all comes down to Friday. It all comes down to Friday night. How I feel. I'll be lying if I said I've got this plan, then I want to do this. It's like, let's do this one. Let's see how I feel. Hopefully it's good, and hopefully we can have some bigger fights in the future.
Well, I'm looking forward to your fight with Will. Obviously, there'll be a lot of your fans that will come from, you know, the dance scene, you know, diversity, and then tuning in to see your first fight. So what do you want to tell your fans out there that are seeing you fight for the first time, that have been with you the whole way as far as your career?
Well, look, listen, as far as diversity and my own career and presenting all that goes, if you're a supporter and you've been there from the start, obviously thank you so much. Please continue the support into this sort of new venture of boxing, something else that's a little bit different. I appreciate you, and if you're specifically a boxing fan, maybe this is the first time you'll see me. I think Friday night's going to be something special, especially for me. It's going to be my debut. I'm buzzing for it. Lock in, and hopefully you'll be a supporter too.
Well, like I said, lock in, and hopefully you'll be a supporter, and hopefully more to come from him. Jordan, absolute pleasure to meet you, my brother, and I wish you all the best with your fight with Will.